In this short 8-minute segment of a recorded presentation entitled Innovation Made Easier, you learn how to collaborate more effectively across product planning, development, and delivery, and how product lifecycle management is necessary but not sufficient for you to deliver sustainable innovation. Let's watch.
Imagine you are a company, or you're in a company where you are making tools, let's say for woodworking and material building and so on, and you are asked to make the next product evolution. And you might think to yourself, let's make this thing sharper, let's make it more efficient, more durable, and what the case might be, and you're looking at more of the features, the mechanical features of that sort of thing. But if you're thinking of the experience, you might be thinking about the way the user might be operating your particular product, and you might think, maybe I want to avoid a really bad catastrophic injury here. So now you're thinking, let's innovate around that experience, and now you need much more than just mechanical, right? You need electrical, you need some systems, you need to do some simulation and testing, and maybe test with something else versus your finger to start off with. But this requires a whole different type of approach to innovate around the experience, far beyond just messing around with some geometry and some features. Now let's think you're a company now that manages and creates equipment to do lawn maintenance, yard work, and so on. And again, if you're thinking to innovate around the product, you might think of, hey, let's make something that's maybe a better efficiency, more fuel economical, maybe fewer emissions, and so on. And those are all important things. But to compete, you might want to look at the experience. And you might think of someone like me. Now, I like to have a nice looking lawn, but I don't have the time and interest to really maintain that thing. So if you make something of an experience that will always have my lawn looking great, and I don't have to worry about it, and you've got to figure out now how to make that work, and what sensors you need, and is it going to fit in my yard, and all that kind of stuff, you know what? I might buy that. And you know what? If you can figure out how to deal with my dog and the mess they leave behind, I'm probably going to buy that because I don't like that job either. Now, you also think about when we're driving. Like, we live in a connected world. We're always connected, but we can't connect when we drive if we want to be safe. And you look at now all the work being done for autonomous vehicles and driving you around, and you think of all the different systems that need to come together to make that work. It's not just a car, right? It has to be guided, it needs sensors, it has to have intelligence and real-time information and all kinds of things in here to make that work. And to make an experience like that where the driver can then become a passenger and be connected and do whatever, I mean, that's a great experience once we have it. I can't wait. And the thing is about an experience is once you have that experience, that's the new normal. Now, if you don't have that experience, you're behind. So as an innovator, you've got to then figure out, well, what's the next experience that now I can make to be the normal? So in the experience economy, it's tricky because to evolve, it's not just a simple product evolution. You have to look at every element of that and transform that. So you look at the challenge in the experience economy is, yes, there's tremendous opportunity, but you as a company need to figure out how to engage all of your teams with holistic development and simulation, optimization, and do it quickly and faster than your competitor. And this is happening in every single industry. You pick the industry, there's something going on like this happening. I'm not going to go into all the examples, but I'm sure you can come up with a whole bunch on your own. And as I mentioned, this requires the ability to rapidly connect people together. And you see this digitalization initiative happening across all the industries and all of the different groupings and all of the science and all the things that happen there to really invent new things. You have the engineers and the designers trying to pull all that together. You've got manufacturing that needs to digitalize all of their work and all of the operations that they do. And then, of course, marketing needs to be digitalized as well, because if you do all this amazing work and you can't go and market that and sell it, you're in trouble, aren't you? Now, digitalization can happen in any one of these areas, but only on the 3D Experience platform does this happen all in the same place. And that's very important because all this information can be related and connected and shared, and you have one definition that everyone works on. And that creates some profound innovation that can happen with the platform. Now, putting this all together creates what we call a model. So what is a model? You may have heard things like model-based engineering, and so on. So what is a model? Well, if I ask my wife what is a model, she might say this. My son, who's younger, who likes to play with toys, I ask him what's a model, he might say this. And my daughter, who likes to do artsy things and she's very artistic, I ask her what a model is, she might say that. So yes, these are all models and they all have different things and purposes, but in our scenario, in business, the model that we're talking about is this. So what is this for? Why do we have a model? Well, a model in this scenario is something that allows us to test, to evaluate, to understand what it is it doing, what's its performance, is it doing what we want it to do, and if not, what do we need to do to make it better, to make it perform better, to give us better results, and so on. And of course, ultimately, how will this thing perform in the field? What kind of things are going to happen as we can predict that? So that's what a model is for. Now we're talking about digitalization and having a digital model, which yes, requires geometry, but it's far more than just the 3D. So yes, we need the best 3D we possibly can use, but that 3D needs to be connected into everything else around the business and everything else around the experience so that everyone can work on that. And that's what we're talking about here now with going from just designing products to modeling experiences. So yeah, we need to take a look at all of the KPIs that we want to manage and monitor and simulate and optimize to get the best result. But that also needs to be connected into the system. How is this performing when I connect the brake to the wheels, to the suspension, to the control system? Now it's in the environment on the road and it's slippery and the brakes are pressed. How is that all working and what is the experience happening in this version of the car versus this version of the car, so you can choose the right variations you want to bring to market. And that's really about digitally connecting and simulating and optimizing for that part of the model. So we have the ability, the technology, to bring that into the model and help you optimize and finalize that. And the technology that we have to do that with the 3D Experience platform, it comes from the V6 architecture that we've had for a long time, and we're the only company that can do all this in that same model-based definition. And what we've done most recently is to push that out and to say, you know what? You don't have to start on the 3D Experience platform. Wherever you have started with your CAD no longer matters, because we can bring that into the platform and still help you optimize and finalize. And oh, by the way, how do you know what to develop? How do you know what to optimize? Don't you need a plan to do that? So now we have all the digital planning capabilities to get things in motion in the right way. And then as I mentioned before, you could do all this work and not be able to sell it, so we have to make sure that we can also help you sell and market this stuff, again, in the same platform, leveraging all this information for consistency and quality.
Thank you for watching this presentation entitled Innovation Made Easier. If you want more